In Vitalik, we trust. I'm going to tell you why Ethereum should be a major part of your portfolio. As Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, the greatest investors in the world, say, you know, they don't really believe in diversifying and investing in companies. They're lukewarm and hedge their bets and all that crap. What they say, and this is not a quote, but know your shit, know what's going on, and when you see a winner, bet big. That's what they do. And the more I study what's going on in the crypto space, the more I see that all roads seem to lead to Ethereum. On almost every metric out there, Ethereum is the leader, and usually by far. So I want to go through all that. Let's go through. We're going to go through all the positives. At the end, I'm going to talk about the negatives of where this story could go wrong or how you could lose money anyways. We always got to remember there's two sides to this story, to every story. But let's go through it. The number one story for Ethereum. Ethereum is a platform that companies use to build programs on using the Ethereum blockchain. And there's other companies out there right now. There's Lisk and Neo and EOS. There's all these companies coming out with smart contract platforms, or maybe they've just launched. The thing we need to do to measure and compare Ethereum versus any other competitors is that the ultimate question is, how many successful businesses are running on the platform? So the first point for Ethereum, look at this. Here's a website. I'll put the link in the YouTube video here. These are companies that have built or are building applications. The green means it's live. The yellow, orange means work in progress. This is working prototype. How many companies are building or have built or are launching or have launched on the Ethereum blockchain? Look at this list. It goes on and on. So for any other smart contract platform and that you want to invest and you think they're going to beat Ethereum in the long run, that means they have to launch. They have to have better technology, because why would you not go with the leader unless some new startup has much better technology? And then they have to attract, ultimately, they don't want to have more valuable companies on their platform than Ethereum. So you would have to see them launch and then see companies flocking to this new platform with a growth rate that is faster than Ethereum, because not only is this list long, it's getting longer. It's growing rapidly. Look at this. It goes on and on. Now, some of these are shit. Some of these are ICOs. I don't count ICO when we talk about DApp, okay? An ICO is a very simple program. I hear it takes 2 lines of code to write a thing, to create a token, and you can raise money. That's not a business. That's not what we're talking about. Anybody can do that. The thing that will make Ethereum successful is that successful real businesses are able to provide value by using the blockchain. So, for example, some of the businesses, and this is one of the reasons I keep coming back to Ethereum, is as I research out in the crypto space and I find an exciting company. There's storj. They are building a decentralized system for computer storage of data. I read about it, looks cool. Is it going to work? I think it's already kind of launched. It's coming. Is it going to be great? Well, if it's great, that's great for Ethereum. That proves that Ethereum's blockchain is valuable. And there's so many. So let me just a few of the big ones that look exciting. There's Golem, which is using the blockchain to create a distributed supercomputer that anyone can rent space from all the distributed computers. There's augur and gnosis, which are creating prediction markets where you can place bets and create bets on any world events. There's tenx, has a debit card that allows you to buy from a fiat retailer using any of your cryptocurrencies. What else? There's Bancor, looks interesting. And every time I research any of those companies, I've researched them, I look into them, I go, that could be cool. That maybe they haven't launched yet, they've just launched. It's scary to invest in them. But then I think, well, if they're successful, that's good for Ethereum. And in a way, investing in Ethereum is kind of like investing in a fund that's playing on the success of all of these new business ideas. I would rather bet on that. And also, when you think about these, usually in investing, what's more valuable, the platform or the companies that launch successfully on the platform? It's usually the platform itself. So now, granted, if you pick one of these companies and it turns out to be huge and you pick it before it launches, you could make more money than with Ethereum. But, the value is this, okay? This is huge, and this is what you keep your eye on. And when you hear and someone says, oh, you got to buy, look at Neo, new platform. That's one that's actually launched. They have, from what I've heard, and this is not counting the ICO money raise things. Like I said, I don't count that. That's too easy to copy, right? It's not a business. They have like one ad exchange is building something, and then there's another, and maybe they have more than a couple. But it's not like this. I don't see a web page like this on Neo's website. So that's the most important point. Next is, I always say you got to look at the founders, look at the developers, look at the team. Well, in Ethereum, we have the rock star of rock stars when it comes to crypto, and he may even end up being one of the great rock stars of our time, such as Zuckerberg and so forth. Young kid, super early in this stuff, super genius, always has been a super genius sort of in general, even in school. He was able to, add, there's stories about the kid. He's like a super genius. Created this thing years ago, and what I love about him is not only is he a nerdy genius, but he's very open and out there. He put out his white paper. He was originally on the Ethereum project expecting lots of negatives and reasons why it wouldn't work, and he didn't get that many. He was surprised, but his openness to share his ideas. He's always traveling. When he's in Shanghai, he learned to speak Chinese. He speaks Chinese, Russian, and American. He's from China. He goes to Russia. He's in Singapore. In Miami. He's all over the place. He was just in Israel, and he's talking and meeting with people, working with people. He's out there. He's open, and that's sometimes I think the geniuses who sort of sit alone or hide out are not as powerful in the long run as those that are open. And so I've got this. I was just showing here too. Not only is there tons of info on him. Oh God, I can't. Like how many videos, long videos of him talking about what's going on in. At conferences, tons of info, super rock star. You can't do better having him as a leader. And if you compare it to something like Bitcoin, you can't even compare Bitcoin because Bitcoin's not a platform. But when it comes to development or scaling, Bitcoin has this giant community and they're trying to figure out how to upgrade and do this and that, as opposed to Ethereum, where you've got a team, you've got a strong leader, they're able to make roadmaps and build and grow. And that's so important because they need to scale. Is that, and good. The next topic I want to talk about is scaling. So scaling meaning right now Ethereum can only do, it's like 7 or 8 transactions per second. Visa does 30,000. So they need to scale 100x, 100x, 100x. But they have a plan to do it. They've just recently, I feel like recently every day there's a new announcement of what Ethereum launched to improve their scaling. They have side chains, and a lot of these things, the point too I want to make, again, with other investment opportunities for a smart contract blockchain company, a lot of the reasons people will say that some other option is better is because it's faster. Well, it's easy to be fast when you haven't launched yet, or claim to be fast. It's easy to be fast when you only have 2 companies working on it. But Ethereum, and that's another thing, transactions I was going to talk about. I'm going to skip ahead. I was going to get to this later, but I want to show you transactions. Let's see if we can zoom in here. Can you see that? Okay, so this is transactions. This is Ethereum. They had 500,000 here. They're about 400,000 a day now. Here's Bitcoin, which is about 250 to 300. I got a couple of the other ones here. Litecoin is the green one. Dash. It's like nothing. They're all like 10 or 20,000. So Ethereum is way ahead with this. And let me just, while I'm on this, I want to show a couple other things here. I'll put this link in under the video, but block time, how long it takes to process a transaction. You know, I'm going to put the cursor here. If you look up here, it'll show, you know, Bitcoin 7, I guess that's 7 minutes. Bitcoin Cash 8 minutes. Litecoin 2-2. Ethereum 0.4. It's the fastest. Average transaction fee. You know, look at what happened here with Bitcoin. And look, I'm going to erase some of these because it gets a little crowded, especially Bitcoin. We'll erase. So Ethereum, let's turn all these off. And let's go a little bit longer, 6 months. Okay, Ethereum, when its transaction volume jumped huge. Now, they had some problems here, but they fixed it. You know, this is still 0.6. Remember, all the other guys are so much faster. As their transactions increase rapidly, they're maintaining low transaction fees. And so, you know, again, my point here is that it is easy to say that you have low transaction fees. It's easy to say you're fast. It's easy to say all these things when you haven't launched or you only have 2 companies on your platform. Ethereum is the only real company out there facing these scaling challenges. They're the only ones who are really able to develop some real scaling solutions because they have something to scale. They have applications and tons of transactions going. So just some of the things they've introduced lately. So for example, side chains. You know, 3 or 4 months ago, there were other, you know, I think, I don't want to say which, you know, some of their competitors would say, oh, well, we have side chains, you know, allow you to do side chains. Well, that's a way to scale. That's awesome. Well, Ethereum just came out with Plasma, a system for side chains. They just came out with this rated network, which allows them to do sort of off-chain transactions. I'm not sure exactly. It's just another scaling thing that they've implemented. And so Ethereum has, you know, within a year should be able to scale their speed by 100x. And like I said, that's not the end. They're going to have to scale another time 100x, but they're moving so fast. And so when I see, you know, people say, oh, EOS is faster. It hasn't launched yet. You know, is it going to be fast? Will EOS be faster after it launches and has thousands of companies building applications? I'd rather wait and see. I'm not buying that, right? Where was I here? Quantum is another one. Oh, it's so fast. The technology is awesome. Hasn't launched. So, anyways, Ethereum it's a real company with real activity that they're scaling rapidly. Okay. Now, proof of stake is something else that's really important. And is another thing that people sort of miss with Ethereum. Some of the other platforms out there are like, hey, we're faster, we're better because we use proof of stake, and Ethereum doesn't. So just to briefly explain for those who don't know, the distributed ledger system in a blockchain is maintained by, originally Bitcoin created proof of work. Your computer has to do a certain amount of work. This is the mining, which shows they're invested enough in the network to not screw the network. Problem with mining is computers have to do a lot of work. It uses a lot of energy. It's slow. Proof of stake says you just have to show that you have a stake in the system. Usually just you put up a certain number of coins that you stake, that if you try to screw the system, you'll lose your coins. Well, that's a lot faster to prove than making a computer do work, and it's less energy. So proof of stake appears to be a better system for maintaining the network. And so a lot of the new platforms that launch are starting out with proof of stake. And so people are like, well, this is better than Ethereum because they're on proof of stake. Well, Ethereum is moving to proof of stake. Within a year, they have a system, Casper, which they're doing tons of research. I'm going to talk a little bit about this Joseph Poon, the creator of Casper, another rock star who's sort of on the Ethereum team. They're moving to a proof of stake system that's also, you know, they're testing it deeply with the smartest people in the industry. And I've seen some others, you know, their system is not, it's not even so Ethereum has a system and moving to a proof of stake system that is a trustless system. It is not centralized and you can't attack it. There are other platforms like IOTA and they say they're going to eventually be trustless, but they're not. It's centralized right now. Okay, well, maybe they'll move to something, but it's easier to, have a faster system that works with a centralized system. That's what we've always done. But this investment, the cryptocurrency revolution, is about a trustless, decentralized system. So to me, it doesn't count if you're not decentralized. And then, also, sorry to pick on EOS again, but I saw Vitalik talking at one of these conferences, and he was talking about EOS. It's like, well, it doesn't have enough nodes to make it truly, attack-proof and decentralized. And also NEO is another one. It's not decentralized. Like more than 50% of the node, I can't remember how it works, but it's another one that is not a trustless system. You have to trust the owners of NEO, who, some of it, we don't even know who the hell's running the company, and it's based in China, and you have to trust them. You can't compare that to this decentralized, truly trustless system. And again, it's moving to proof of stake, and it'll probably, so the other platforms out there that are bragging about their proof of stake and how fast they are, they're going to lose that bragging right soon, and I bet you Ethereum's proof of stake is there's many different ways to do proof of stake. I bet you Ethereum does it better than all of them. Okay, then we've got languages that people use to program your smart contracts. Now, so there's a couple things about this, and I think this is an area where people have the most confusion. So, first of all, Ethereum created their own language, Solidity, and to hear Vitalik Buterin, so to hear uninformed people talk about it, or maybe in the press, it's like, oh, geez, you have to use this, and you don't have to. Also, there's other languages, but this Solidity is a unique programming language. Well, that's not good because, there's other languages out there that people already know, and you have to use this Solidity. The reason Vitalik created the Solidity language is because writing smart contracts is a very unique function that requires a certain type of language, especially how security is extremely important. And he built a language which is just built for building smart contracts. And there is a great, need for a language specifically for this brand new function. But the other thing that people miss for some reason is that there are, Ethereum does work with other languages, but they're serious about it. They have a real system here. They've got all these companies. I didn't even finish the list. Oh, I did finish. All these companies working on it, they can't just put something in and have a bug and get hacked. And I know in the past there was a hack and all this. But they have to be very serious about what they do. I saw Vitalik talking about, why don't you use C+ programming? He's like, it's not a secure language. Like, it's not even an option to use C+ for what they do. But they work with several other languages, and then so Lisk is another platform that's just launching, and people think it's awesome, for whatever reason. One of the reasons is, well, Lisk allows you to write in JavaScript. It's a very popular language. A lot of people don't know. Well, that's awesome, but I don't know. I'm looking at Ethereum JavaScript API. Apparently, you can use JavaScript. Now, maybe Lisk allows you to do something with JavaScript that Ethereum doesn't. If that's such a big deal, and that's going to make them get more of these companies, or these companies are going to flock to Lisk, or new companies are going to all want to go to Lisk because they have this JavaScript. How hard is it for Ethereum to sort of tweak this shit? I don't think it's hard. And if it is, not doable, it's probably for a good reason. So, and Ethereum works with several languages, but only in the case that they can allow you to use that language securely and safely and properly. So, my guess, now I'm not a developer, so I don't want to get too crazy on this topic, but my guess is that once again, Ethereum has the greatest ability for you to work with several different languages, even though it's one of the biggest criticisms against them. Okay, and then the development team, I mentioned Vitalik Buterin, obviously, but, there's others. This Joseph Poon, So this guy's another rock star. I love people who have tons of videos. Now, of course, he wrote the white paper on the Casper proof of stake system. He created the Lightning Network, which is it's used for Bitcoin to send Bitcoins directly to each other without going through the blockchain. I think it's called Atomic Network. Anyways, he built a scaling system for Bitcoin, which was great. He, as I said, the author of the new proof of stake for Ethereum. He built or helped build the Plasma sidechain for Ethereum. This guy is a rock star. He's working with this Omizgo for this new credit payment processing platform. Oh, that's talk about another DApp. Don't forget about Omizgo. Omizgo is building payment processing. They're an existing payment processing company who, it looks like you're going to be able to walk into McDonald's and buy with your Ethereum with this Omizgo wallet, and it looks like it's going to be. We'll wait till it comes out. But anyways, Joseph Poon is involved in the Omizgo plan, which looks really cool. That's a whole nother story. And again, if Omizgo is super successful, that's good for Ethereum. So it's not a one or the other here. So back to Mr. Poon. Again, another guy who's out there, lots of videos, rock star. And as far as developers, Ethereum has. I don't have it's hard to measure some of this stuff because Bitcoin has been around for a while. There's a lot of people versed in Bitcoin, but a lot of the Bitcoin crowd has gone to Ethereum because it's like they have the store of value in the ether, but you can also do spot contracts. It's sort of Bitcoin 2.0. And from what I hear, Ethereum has the biggest collection of best developers. And another thing to look at, again, I'm not a developer here, but GitHub is a place where developers post their information. You can see the activity that goes on. The Ethereum, if you're comparing, I was looking at IOTA, their GitHub. I mean, there's not a ton of activity going on there. Look at Ethereum, so many people, so many posts, so much activity. This shows, here's posts. You look at this, can you see that? This here, each green mark is when a post was made. And you look at a lot of places and it's like they've got 5 little green, they're not putting up stuff every day. Here they've got tons of people posting every single day. Again, the most activity, it's just on every metric. And the metric with developers, I think Ethereum, again, has the biggest and best teams. Okay, another win for Ethereum, the wallet. Where do you store your coins? I don't like leaving coins in exchanges, especially when governments are coming out and trying to, attack exchanges. It's a dangerous business. You're not really owning your private key when you're on an exchange. Ethereum, so there's a thing called myetherwallet.com, which is really just a viewer that allows you to see your coins on the blockchain. So in other words, I get my Ether and I put it on the Ethereum blockchain, and I have my private key, and I can view it from myetherwallet.com. Nobody owns the wallet. I'm not in someone else's wallet. I'm just viewing it through this web page. If myetherwallet.com blew up, there would be other pages that I can use to view my money on the blockchain. I wouldn't lose my money. Do some research on myetherwallet.com because I think that's the best way to sort of just store and save your ethers. It's to understand it at the beginning can be a little wonky, a little tricky, and make sure you don't lose your private key. There's no password recovery. But once you sort of figure it out, it's awesome. It's totally safe. It's easy. It's fast. And when I look at, I've played with some of the other coins out there. I was in this IOTA wallet. It's like the thing, it's you have to trust them. You're in this wallet. It doesn't show you exactly how many coins you have. It's slow as heck. I mean, it's crazy. And a lot of these, other coins, you're leaving shit on exchanges. You're in wallets you have to trust. It's tricky business. So I love Ethereum has an easy way to save and hold your coins if you're making this investment move. And then now the one competition, the one metric where Bitcoin doesn't win, and because the winner in this one metric is Bitcoin. Bitcoin's on every exchange. That's the coin that's easy to move from exchange to exchange. It has the highest market cap, but Ethereum is growing in market cap, in trading volume, and on being on every exchange. I think eventually, soon, maybe within a year, Ethereum is going to be as easy to move around to everywhere as Bitcoin is. So that's an advantage. They're not in the lead, but again, you want a leader, and you want to, and it's like people get really into picking. Oh, I want to pick the long shot because you make more money if they pass. But you should be able to see the long shot coming at a faster rate. You know, right now I'm seeing Ethereum competitors sort of middling along, and Ethereum's still growing faster. But when it comes to Ethereum versus Bitcoin, in growth of acceptance, you're seeing Ethereum picking up, growing faster than Bitcoin, and you can see how they will pass. I do believe in the flippening. I believe the next bubble, I think the current bubble, it's my last video, you know, I think it's sort of winding down, and then we're going to have our new bubble is going to be all about the flippening. I mean, I don't want to start predicting the future is a fool's errand, and now I'm double predicting. Scratch that. Thank you. Okay, so that's the bull case. Now I'm going to tell you it's possible that this story goes sour. It's possible that we're wrong in some ways. So let me go over why you need to be careful. Okay. So first of all, one thing, like I said, the number one reason to believe in Ethereum is all of these companies launching businesses. So the negative would be that like none of them are able to come up with something that creates real value, or what's more likely, the more likely negative story is it ends up taking 5 years before anything is that valuable, or it's kind of valuable, but Ethereum hasn't scaled enough, so it's too slow, and you know, it takes like 5 or more years to start seeing some real valuable companies on the Ethereum blockchain. And we may be pricing in, I mean, I know a lot of these companies that are launching, people are pricing in, you know, that it's going to be successful in a minute, or that it's already successful, let alone they're launching in a year and they've got a long scale plan. I mentioned this golem, the supercomputer. If you read about it, looks super cool. But then I look at it too and I'm like, geez, that looks like it's going to take a long time to make. It may be awesome, but it might be awesome in 5 years. And what if that's true for almost all these? The other thing you can also worry about with some of these is some of them, never mind great ideas that take a long time or don't work, but some of these are just like friggin', you know, it's a program to build a Ponzi scheme, or it's just an ICO money raise, and a lot of these are just shit, right? So what's the real number of successful businesses on the Ethereum blockchain, and when will we see that? If that turns out to be smaller and takes longer than we expect, well, that might be the same for all their competitors too, but then the value's not there. That, you know, so that we need to watch. Like I said, this is the most important thing to pay attention to. The other issue is, you know, the price. I mean, or I don't even like to say the price, because who knows what the price should be. But this chart, I mean, this is a frightening chart, and this is 1 year. Okay, over here we're at $11. You know, now it's come down to $2.50. It's still up huge. And then, so, you know, maybe we're right. Maybe all those positive stories are completely right. But, you know, the price has gotten ahead of itself, and it comes down for a while, and it takes a while for us to make money on the investment. And similarly, take it even a step further, that we're right on everything, and the value is there, but the rest of the market, there's a lot of shit coins out there. There's a lot of companies that are going to fail that are worth $1 billion. You know, China's trying to pop the bubble, and others too. And the whole market has problems. If the whole market poops, Ethereum's going to go down with it. You know? So, you know, you need to be careful. But as Warren Buffett says, okay, this is not a quote again. This is to paraphrase Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, the greatest investors of all times. Know your shit, and when you see a winner, bet big. Don't just diversify and hedge your bets on a lot of things that you're lukewarm and that could be cool. Find a winner and bet big. This looks like a winner. Let's bet big, but don't jump in with all your money today when the market is up high. Have a plan. Get in over time. Keep researching. Also, this is a fast-moving market. I mean, things can come from out of left field and out of space. Watch my videos. If I see something coming, I'll let you know what I see. Keep your eyes open. This story may not hold true forever, but I'm hoping this is our 10-year plan. And you buy in, and 10 years from now, you're going to be really happy. I think this is the leader by far. And, so let me know. So first of all, if any of my comments here, there's something wrong, I made a mistake, I missed something, let me know. After you finish telling me what an idiot I am and how stupid I am, how I'm the worst researcher ever, then let me know what facts you have that I missed so that I can learn. And if you share it on the comments, we can all learn. I go through all my comments. I learn from them. So that's it. Let me know. And if you have any other positive stories that I don't know about, let me know. And if I mispronounced something, just fucking tell me the right pronunciation, and you don't have to insult me for an hour. Thank you.